everybody, it's Timmy with TVG Automotive Specialties, and today we're going to be putting in a new in-dash navigation system into this 2020 Jeep Gladiator. The system we're going to be putting in is going to be the Stinger HEIGH10 system, along with the pack integration kit. This kit is the SRK JW18EH, and it'll be a nice factory fit look and feel. Also give us some cool features along with the Android Auto and the CarPlay. We're also going to get some vehicle features inside of here. This kit and this unit comes with everything we need to fit it right inside of this Gladiator. All right, everyone, we're pretty excited to put this system into this Gladiator. We've seen this on the market, and we've been really excited to try it out for ourselves. It's supposed to help us retain some of the features like that high-definition backup camera. If you have the front camera, that'll retain that front camera as well, which are some cool features that the Jeeps are putting on their vehicles today. So this system will allow us to integrate not only into a lot of those factory systems that are really good and well, really nothing on the market that touches them, but also allows us to add the cool things that you don't traditionally get in maybe a system that you had the Uconnect 3 or the Uconnect 4, which is that 5-inch screen or the 7-inch screen. There's going to be a 10-inch screen in the dash, which will fit and feel like it was almost from factory. There will be some slight differences there, but we're going to get a lot of cool things out of it. So let's check out and see what's inside these boxes today. Let's start with the Stinger HEIGH10 itself. Pretty well packaged here. Here we have our 10-inch screen. All right. As you can see, it's pretty thin. It's actually going to go inside of a kit that'll lock into the dash. That'll give it kind of that OEM feeling to it. The screen itself is our 10-inch screen. We've got some buttons on the front of it and a volume control knob here. From somebody, if you've seen the JL video I've done where I swapped the Uconnect 3 to the Uconnect 4, one of those things that happen when you go from that 5-inch to the 7-inch screen is the factory volume knob is no longer there because of the 7-inch screen. So if you are going to go from like a Uconnect 3 into this HEIGH10, you'll actually retain that volume knob on the dash. Something most people don't think about when you're looking at them, but here we got it set. Stinger took care of that for us. And let's see what else we got here. Here we have the actual brains of the unit. The brains of the unit here, which is where all our plugs will go into. This will sit behind the dash. Its thin design is going to let us know is if anybody's done any radios in these Jeeps so far, there is not a lot of room back there. You're actually going to have trouble getting a lot of different aftermarket radios in there, especially once you get the different integration pieces, the harness. Let's say you're going to put a system in, you got RCAs, plus all the GPS antennas and everything else that you need to integrate it in. This system, the way it's going to mount into the kit, is actually going to help us maximize the space that's in there. As you'll see, we have a lot of wiring that's going to go into this thing just yet. So we got our brain of the system, nice and compact. It does come, because the system will fit into various other vehicles, there are going to be some kits and parts in here that we're not going to use on this particular install. But it does come with the screen mounting bracket for universal fit, as well as we've got here, we're going to have our box of goodies. So the cool thing is this kit is designed for the Jeep. So you're going to see a lot of proprietary plugs and harnesses here that are going to go right directly into our Jeep. Inside of this box here, these are the plugs for the unit. So our RCA plugs for our cameras. We've got our GPS antenna comes in here. So we'll get that mounted in there. Let's see what else we got in here. Pretty much every wire harness that you're going to need for the unit to display any type of video input output, audio input outputs, camera input outputs, and just our overall general install supplies. All right, here we have our pack SRK JW18EH kit, which is specifically designed to go into the 2018 and up JLs, as well as the JT or the Jeep Gladiator. So we are all set for all the new Wranglers, all the new Gladiators. This will allow you to put in a 10-inch screen into the dash, give it kind of that great look, form, fit, and feel that you would have out of a factory system, with some upgraded features that you may not get out of the current factory systems. So for those of you that have that Uconnect 3, which is that 5-inch screen, which is like your baseline system that you're going to get out of any of the Jeeps off the market, this will allow you to get you into that cool big 10-inch screen. So if any of you off-roaders gotta have those nice big maps, this will also give us some of those tilt and tip sensors that we have, and as well as some other good features. So stay tuned. When we get to the feature settings on this, you'll be able to see this thing live in action. But for now, let's see what's inside the box. All right, first things first, we have our steps for installation. So you are going to come with an installation guide. The guide is going to give you step-by-step, as well as Stinger has put some videos out on their website that really goes through the entire install process. If you have a chance, you can check those out. I will go over some of the basics here. I'm not going to go as in depth on the install because the videos out there, to be honest with you, Eric did a great job of putting those together. You should watch them. But here you go. This is going to go over all of our settings, setup, and what have you. So you've got your manual. So move this over. Next, you've got a couple different mounting plates. So there's a couple different versions of the kit that you can use. Since we've got the HEIGH10, we're going to use this display. This is what our the 10-inch screen will actually mount physically into this, and then this will get mounted into the vehicle. So this would be our top, this is our bottom that bolts in, and it pretty much clips right into place with where the factory clips would be for the main radio. It's got a nice finish to it. It doesn't have any gloss. It's kind of that matte finish to it, but it looks really sharp, and it looks like it's going to match a lot of the other panels inside of the vehicle. For a lot of you Jeepers too that like to customize, you could take this out and have it painted, paint matched to your trims, especially the Rubicons with the red finish. Maybe that's something you want to do. You can do that, but this will come in this matte black finish. Next, we're going to have the actual bracket that's going to house the brains of the operation. So you'll watch me. I'll do a little bit of assembly on this. But all of our wire harnesses, all the pack integration modules, and the brain and everything's going to connect to this bracket here. This bracket will then bolt directly into the factory bolts that we'll be removing when we get the factory radio out. It even comes with the clips and everything that you need to fit the factory retaining clips. Next, inside of here, they have what they call the chime module. The chime module, you'll see, will get installed under the knee bolster and the dash. There's actually, it's designed to use the factory bolts that are in there. If they're not in there, they do supply some bolts that you'll be able to directly attach just to a brace that's underneath the knee bolster once you remove that, which needs to be removed for the radio anyway. Stinger also does supply the mapping for the GPS that's built in there. This will already have the basic stuff that's current. This is the 2020 map software, which is cool thing about this is you will be able to update these as maps change over time. It's usually a good idea every couple of years to look at your software and see if you have the latest version. If so, you just download it to these memory cards, put the memory card into the brain, and voila, you have all your updated maps. So pretty cool. They even give you a user guide that you can download, save some paper. Now let's get into some of the harnesses here. Here we're going to have our complete wire harness. Let's open this up. As you see, this wire harness here has everything that we need to plug into the aftermarket stereo, maintain your steering wheel controls. This will plug into your factory speaker or factory radio harness, and everything is fit to be plug and play. There really isn't anything that we're going to have to cut in or splice into or hardwire into to the vehicle. They pretty much thought of everything when they put this together for you. Another really cool feature that I haven't seen on some of the other kits, there is another manufacturer that is coming out, the Maestro RR, which does a lot of great integration stuff. But what some things that they're lacking in, this pack kit has really kind of stepped up and figured out for you. One thing being USB ports retention. So in this vehicle here, we're going to be able to retain our USB ports to plug our phone into, just like you would if it was the factory system. They do give you the plugs that you need for that. There is the plug that's going to plug into the rear of the vehicle. So we're going to get that all sorted out and figured out so that this customer can still use the factory retention plug. Now I did watch Stinger's video, and for theirs they did use the plug that was in the center console, which is great. I really want to see if I can try to make the one in the dash work. They didn't show that in their video, but I'm going to give it a shot and see if there's a way I can integrate into it with the parts that I have. I'll let you know what comes out when we get the install started and going. HDMI cable, this is going to plug into the brains. This will also plug into our HD retention module. One of the cool features, and probably the only one I've seen on the market yet, that actually retains the Jeep HD backup cameras. Now Jeep went through all this effort to put a badass camera on there, and it would be great that we can see it. So what most manufacturers do, if they want to retain the factory camera, they're going to take that digital signal that's coming from the camera in the back, a bunch of ones and zeros floating through your car, and then it turns it into a analog signal, and then they plug that into your factory radio or aftermarket radio. What happens is the quality is going to go down dramatically. You'll notice that HD great clear screen that you had in the past is kind of gone into something that's going to be a little less clear. Still not bad on most radios. You're going to notice that it's going to be very sufficient, but once you've seen the high def quality of some of these cameras here, you're going to want to keep it. Pack figured that out for you and supplied you with not only the front and rear camera inputs here, but also the HDMI plug that allows us to have that HDMI screen up front. Everything again plug and plays in this kit. Nothing really need to wire in. Just follow the instructions on what harness plugs in where, and you'll be good to go. Next, we have the radio insulation adapter, as well as the pack link here. The radio insulation adapter. So in most vehicles these days, they are becoming more and more integrated, which means you have more features that are going to be running through your radio. So maybe your heater controls runs through your radio, or your tire pressure monitors, and all these things. It has to gain a signal from somewhere. Most of your standard aftermarket radios aren't going to be able to pick that up because there are so many different variations of vehicles out there and different types of data, depending on what type of vehicle it is, that it's just impossible for them to do. So what companies like Pack and Maestro and all these other ones out there, what they're doing is they're going into the car and they're reading that data that's in the car off of the CAN bus or LANs or whatever the vehicle has, and then they're turning that data into an analog signal that the radio can use. And so Pack has figured all that stuff out for you, packaged everything in there, put it inside this kit. So when we plug everything in, we should have very minimal programming to do, and we'll be up and running. All of our same features that you used to have in the factory radio will now live inside of this aftermarket radio. They also give you a little P-Link 1. I'm sure it's going to do something cool for us. I'm sorry, I just don't know yet. And how do we get that signal in? Well, there's only one way to find out all those cool features that are in your unit today. How do you get that signal? Well, it's going to come through the CAN bus in this particular case. Your CAN bus lives behind your glove box in this Jeep. And there's actually two different variations of signal that we're going to be taking out. The cool thing with Pack, what they did give you is they gave you a T-harness style plug, or what they have is basically if there wasn't enough space for us to plug these directly into the signals, this would allow us to unplug one that is currently there and then still plug our new piece in and plug the factory one in there, retaining the signal. But this is very, very important to making everything work, because this is what tells everything inside the vehicle to turn on, turn off, send signals, send no signals, whatever it is. This harness is there to do this. Pack supplied that for you. They actually did a great job, because we do have to run it from the glove box up to the radio, and they gave us plenty of length here, as well as they put this nice Tech Flex on there to protect it while it goes behind there. We're actually going to run this up behind the airbag. Hopefully I'll show you a little bit of that in the install. Did come with the factory to aftermarket antenna adapter, which is awesome. We do want to be able to maintain our radio stations. So in this particular vehicle, we've got the right adapter. If we had satellite radio, if we were going to be adding satellite radio to this run, you see the factory system had it, but that does get removed with the factory radio. So if we wanted to add it to our new aftermarket radio, we would have to purchase a separate module. That module would be installed with the radio. But the cool thing is they thought of everything in this kit, and they gave us an adapter so that we can take the factory satellite radio antenna and adapt it to our aftermarket satellite radio. Unfortunately, we're not doing it in this particular vehicle, so it's an extra part. We'll just save for another day, give it back to the customer. Who knows? We'll see what happens. And for you DIYers out there, they gave you everything, even the zip ties. Is this something you want to try to tackle yourself? At the end of the day, it's fairly safe and easy to do if you feel confident about taking your vehicle apart. So far, I haven't seen anything where I need to do any updating or flashing in the modules. It appears to have everything I need out of the box to get going. Time will tell as I put it in if there's anything else I'll need to do, but we'll see when we get there. But so far, super excited about this kit. It seems like we have everything we need inside the box. We've got this awesome screen. Like I said, this kit did come with the adapter if you'd wanted to go with the smaller screen. So we have options. We are doing the 10-inch screen, which is the largest one they offer, which is going to be really cool on that dash when we get done. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I know our customer is very excited to get this in, done, and down the road.